Hi guys, Devil XYZ, and in this installment of the Good and the Bad, I decided to go for a classic and an all-time favorite of mine, which is Devil May Cry. Yeah, so this is a PS2 version. They do have an HD collection available where it comes with the first three games. And in general, I have like a bias towards this game as I think this is actually one of my favorite games in, for any hack and slash action genre. And I always like to come back to go into the entire series. And I really actually had to thank a Resident Evil game that actually got me introduced into Devil May Cry in the first place. Even though, ironically, this first Devil May Cry game was the initial basis for Resident Evil 4, and after, it says here 2001, so after 15 long years, and I actually still think it holds up even quite well, even to today's standards. But let's take a closer look. Well, I guess it's a little interesting as back in one of my college classes, I kind of did a little bit of a study slash review of Devil May Cry. So I guess I can somewhat reiterate what I said there. Well, for one thing, one of the good of Devil May Cry is the variety of weapons. Granted, in the first game, it was mainly swords, and of course, Ifrit, the flaming gauntlets. But you also have a variety of actual guns, from handguns, shotguns, grenade gun, needle gun, and in that interesting Nightmare beta. And I say what's also interesting is the fact that some of these weapons are pretty effective against certain types of enemies. So it's kind of fun to play around which weapons work against certain enemies. For instance, the shotgun is pretty good for taking care of the synth scissors and synth scythes. I say the grenade gun is pretty good for taking care of the blades. Yeah, so it's just kind of fun to experiment which type of weapons can deal most damage to enemies. Second good, I would say, is the upgrades that you can get. Whenever you access the God of Time statue, you can buy stars and holy water to help you out. But you can do a lot of upgrades. Upgrade your health, upgrade your maximum health, upgrade your maximum devil trigger. And I think what's also pretty fun was the use of the actions abilities, where you can actually purchase more actions that causes. But it can either cause more damage to enemies, or in general, they can actually help you out progressing through the game. Like one of my favorite ones is always using air hike or the air raid to get through higher places. And the third good, I would have to say, is the secret missions. Typically, I'm not a huge fan of secret missions, but in this game, it has a good variety. It's not just standard hacking and slashing. They do take a break from that with the secret missions, and you could be doing stuff like killing baby phantoms, finding secret blue orbs, or I guess the favorite one is probably the last secret mission where you have to find the Bangle of Time, and you can actually use that as an actual equipment once you get it. Well, as much as I do like this game, there are a few issues with it, and I wish they could have been addressed. For one thing, the camera angles, or the fact that the camera in the game is as a fixed style, which I can understand is the first game in a series, but also it is it was considered to be a Resident Evil game, so I guess they decided to still go with a fixed camera. And for the most part, it's okay, but there will be times where you're facing enemies, and the camera will just switch to a really bad position, and you have no idea what you're doing. Second, I'll have to say is the lock-on system. By that, I mean there is no visible indicator to let you know who you're locking on and like how much health an enemy has. I mean, luckily in later games they did fix that, but in this first game, you're pretty much going in blind. Like you have no idea who you're aiming or how much health the enemy has, so you just kind of have to take a huge guess by it. Judging by how the enemy's appearances, and then for the third bet, I would have to go with the difficulty, and because of that, I guess they're going for the Japanese style difficulty, where easy for us is normal for Japan, and normal for us is hard. So it is kind of a little bit on the tough side, especially when you crank it up to the highest difficulty for Dantemo's Daimyo, and at that point, it becomes almost impossible. It gets really difficult to the point where you're going to be pretty much spamming items like crazy, and I mean, I admit I can't get through the Munda's boss battle without having to spend a couple of untouchable stars. I mean, it gets pretty intense like that. I mean, I am grateful on the fact they did re-release the when they re-released the game, they did tune down the difficulty a little bit. So I am grateful for that. But it's just in the original release, it's pretty intense. Well, for improvements, well, I mean, the whole difficulty issues already been taken care of with the HD re-release. But for the other issues, the camera, for instance, I would say having a camera that's free roaming, kind of like Devil May Cry 3, it probably could help out. Or at the very least, maybe have a better fixed camera position so that it doesn't really cause any interference with you battling against the demons. And as for the lock-on system, I would say again maybe something similar to Devil May Cry 3. Originally, I was probably thinking maybe Devil May Cry 2, just having like a visual indicator and like a life bar, but that would probably get a little bit distracting having so many life bars popping up at once. I would say at least something similar to 3, where it's like a visual indicator to let you know what you're targeting, and then at the same time acts as a health bar for the enemies. Well, overall, I say Devil May Cry is a pretty good game. I mean, slightly repetitive maybe, but overall, it's still pretty fun. It has a fast-paced action. It has likable characters. It has demons. What's not to like about it? And I would say, for the most part, it's actually not a bad take in the action hack and slash genre. And with that, I would give it a final score of a I would give it a final score of an 8 out of 10. It still holds up pretty well even today's standards, and I would say if you haven't played it, you should really definitely go try it. Get your hands on the HD collection, or if you want to go back to classic and just get the PS2 version. Who knows? Maybe you might actually find liking to this game, like I have, and maybe start developing a whole new outlook on the whole series. Well, this is Delph Hunter XYZ, and until next time.